All right, let's do a couple more examples here. For example, 3, we can see that we're going to have a polynomial of degree 4, because if we multiply this out, we'll get 2x times x squared. That will be the leading term. So this is going to be 2x to the 4th plus some other terms. Okay, so this behaves like, or f behaves like 2x to the 4th as the absolute value of x goes to infinity at the ends. What are the zeros? Well, we can see that certainly 3 is a 0 and -1 will be a 0. But also 0 will be a 0 because this, whenever x is a factor, remember x is the same thing as x minus 0. Okay, so 0 is also going to be a 0. So the zeros will be 0, 3, and -1. The multiplicity x minus 0 occurs exactly once. X minus 3 occurs once. And x plus 1 occurs twice. So we are crossing, touching. All right, we can see that the x-intercept, and incidentally, this 2 is not a 0. 2 is just a leading coefficient. So since there's no x minus 2, we know it can't be a 0. The x-intercepts are precisely the zeros. The y-intercept, that will also be 0. Because if you plug in x equals 0, everything is 0. So, right, you get 2 times 0 times -3 times 1. So that's 0. Right? All right, so then if we graph this, now 2x to the 4th, okay, that's 4x to the 4th. 4 is even, so that means we're going to be shooting up on both sides. And let's plot our x-intercepts here. Okay. So we are starting up here and ending up here, and at -1 we are touching, so it's going to be touching, and then we're going to turn around, we're going to go up only briefly, and we're going to turn around and go down, and then turn around again, and then come on up. So that's what the graph will look like. And again, we have we have two turning points. The maximum number of turning points, I should say, would be 3. But again, we don't. That's the maximum. In actuality, we only have 2 turning points. Okay, let's look at example 4. Now, in this case, this is the first polynomial we've looked at, which is in standard form, and we really want it to be in factored form. And we're lucky in this case that everything has x as a factor. In fact, x squared is a factor of each term, so we can factor out x squared, and that leaves us with x squared minus 5x minus 14. And then we can factor this some more. This is a second degree polynomial. We should be able to factor that. And this actually factors as x minus 7 times x plus 2. Right. First of all, before we go any further, the leading term is x to the 4th, right? So this f behaves like x to the 4th as x gets large in either direction. The zeros, I can see, well, 7, negative 2, and 0. Because again, this is x minus 0. So 0 with multiplicity 2, 7 with multiplicity 1, and negative 2 with multiplicity 1. So here we are. This is even. So we're touching. Odd, we're crossing. Odd, we're crossing. Okay. The x-intercepts are at x equals 0, 7, negative 2. The y-intercept, again, whenever the x-intercept is 0, that means the y-intercept is 0 as well. There's negative 2, 0, and 7. And we are touching it, we are crossing, touching, crossing. And because we're behaving like x to the 4th, or f is behaving like x to the 4th, we're starting again. We're shooting up on both sides. So we're going to come down here. We cross at negative 2, turn around, touch at 0, turn around, and cross again at 7. Okay?